All right. I'd be very interested to see how much CPU usage this is. I was gonna do 1080p there for a second, but it didn't work out. The good news is I have the game on. That's the good news for once. How the fuck do I? Oh, it's up here. Oh. Okay. Let's see what happens. I have some videos that I want to listen to. It's another very controversial opinion that I have. Okay, it looks pretty good. I don't see any stuttering. It freezes, but that's because I'm alt-tabbed. Try to keep an eye on it. Part of me almost wants to just run the game in 720p so I don't have to downscale it. But anyway. We're going to go ahead. And we're going to listen to this here. Not this ad.
Instead, an archetype is a fusion of two or
more. Okay. We got this video, but I want to listen to it after this video. It's a very controversial topic regarding within the WoW community, or lack thereof.
Warcraft is directed by Duncan Jones, who made two really good films, Moon and Source Code, two films I really enjoyed, so I was thusly excited to see what he could bring to this world. And of course, as you probably know, it's based off one of
This is coming from a movie buff. He doesn't really play WoW all that much, okay? So he's a neutral party.
The most successful video games of all time, World of Warcraft. It's pretty much impossible to be a human being that hasn't heard of World of Warcraft. Now, I've never personally gotten into the game, so I'm not looking for fan service. I'm not looking for things that are going to remind me of my time playing this game. I'm wondering, is this a good film? Does it work on the big screen? In this film, you have orcs and you have humans, and they are at battle. A portal separates their world, and sometimes they'll pour the orcs who comes through that portal to steal away humans, because the orc leader has the ability to suck the energy out of anything living, and he wants to do that to humans as well as some of his own people because their land is being destroyed. So a few orcs are starting to feel rebellious against their leader, and those orcs team up with the humans to hopefully go against this guy and take him down. This movie is being lambasted by critics. Usually I try not to look too deeply into reviews before I see a movie because I don't want anything to affect my judgment, but the reviews from professional critics are so harsh that it's almost impossible to drown out that noise. Plus it opened in a lot of other places releases already. I personally don't feel this movie is as bad as critics are saying. There is definitely some entertainment value. I know the audience I saw it with did a lot of clapping and cheering, and they were having fun with a lot of the action set pieces, and one of the strongest things in this film is Duncan Jones as a director. The movie definitely has some problems, and I'll get into those in a minute, but Duncan Jones did bring a unique perspective to this video game turned into a movie. From the way he shot the opening sequence alone, I could tell there was going to be some really cool directorial flair throughout this film. And he shot a lot of really great battle sequences, and for the most part, the CGI incorporated with the humans does work fairly well. There are a few shots where the CGI was very noticeable, and one in particular where it almost looked like a fan film, where Ben Foster's character, who's playing this wizard called the Guardian, it's an overhead shot, he's summoning his power, and then there's this artificial shake that they inserted into it. It looked really bad. For the most part, the motion capture, especially from Toby Kebbell and his character, is really good. A+ material motion capture work, and Toby Kebbell plays an orc who's at a crossroads in his life. He's the one who's feeling rebellious against his leader, and by far that was the most interesting character in the movie for me. He had something about him that I was invested in. I was actually more invested in him than any of the human characters, which brings me to my biggest problem with this movie, the human characters. I didn't give a shit about any of them, really. The main protagonist is the cool action guy who really doesn't have much going on. I relate him to Aaron Taylor Johnson in the newest Godzilla movie. He's a cool guy, he's good at his job, he has somebody in his life that he's related to that he can kind of care for, but there really wasn't that much on the page for his character. He's just the really cool guy who jumps off tall buildings and, you know, kills people really good. There's also a younger wizard in the movie in training who gets a lot of screen time, and I really did not care much for his character either. Paula Patton in this film plays a half-breed, and you get some sympathy for her because she is also at a crossroads in her life, similar to the other orc who's feeling rebellious, but her performance was very mugging at the camera. I like her a lot. She's a very beautiful woman, and I do think she's talented, but in this film I felt that she was over the top in almost every scene she was in. My biggest issue with the human characters was Ben Foster as the Guardian. He plays this wizard who for me was just incredibly over the top and almost laughable from time to time, and towards the end of the film especially. There was a lot of for me, his character really didn't work. The human characters in this film and the story that they tried to create around them for me was very weak. I did really enjoy the battle sequences, and I thought Duncan Jones had a really nice visual touch to this movie, and some of the motion capture work was excellent. And when you judge it on the basis of video game movies in general, it is definitely above the fold, and I do think it's getting trashed way harsher than it deserves to be. The movie does try to go in a lot of different directions, and there are scenes that feel totally out of left field, like a random cameo scene from a celebrity that just feels like, why is that even there? There are a lot of scenes like that, unfortunately. But on the battlefield, whenever there's an action sequence, this movie is very entertaining, and Duncan Jones did interject some energy into it. It's just that I don't know if I really care to really experience this movie again, ever. Toby Kebbell, for me, gave the best performance in the whole movie. His character was by far the most interesting, but most of the other characters just didn't have that much behind them, and that was unfortunate. The movie is entertaining, though, and I think World of Warcraft fans will probably have a fun time watching it. It's big, it's loud, there's a lot of fun action sequences, but the story and most of the characters was disappointing. I'm going to give Warcraft a C+. I personally don't feel it's a disaster like most critics are saying. There are some good things in this movie, but it was a little disappointing overall. So guys,
these were braces in this review.
Now that I finally assembled my new back.
Fuck. I'm gonna wait to give my opinion here. We're gonna watch this video. Or rather, listen. Oh, we're gonna listen to this video.
Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to Games on Film, everybody, a new series on the channel where we will be analyzing and reviewing video game adaptations in the entertainment industry. And the goal here is very simple: to learn a little bit about each production, critique the creative endeavor, and then grade each one on how well they adapted the source game and how well they stand on their own. Well, I wanted to start this off with a fascinating one to me, the Warcraft movie released back in 2016. A film that seemingly satisfied pretty much all of its target audience, but totally bombed with the critics. Largely considered a commercial flop, but still quietly became the highest grossing video game movie ever released. So one has to wonder, with all the resources over at Blizzard, did they get this right? Did they even get close? Or did they screw it up and squander a huge opportunity We will indeed find out in this video from pre-production to the end credits. So if this is your first time finding my channel, how you doing again? I am Ghost, your host, and let's just dive right into this. Let's begin. And of course, spoilers are ahead for this movie.
I keep forgetting to read the lore.
In the age of chaos, two factions battled for dominance.
The Warcraft franchise has been around for a while now, long enough to go from up-and-coming fantasy universe to very, very good fantasy universe to genre-defining fantasy universe to whatever the hell it is right now. Over the course of this now 28-year-long roller coaster ride, Warcraft fans have enjoyed 5 official games, 10 or so expansion packs, tabletop games, collectible cards, comics, novels, magazines, and 1 feature film. Now, if you ask me, one of the long-standing strengths of Blizzard as a game developer going back to the early years of the company has always been their incredibly high-quality, well-directed, written, and acted cinematics for their games. Through the 90s and early 2000s, they had rightfully earned the reputation for being
Maybe
great
they should make the
storytellers,
movie, huh?
and nothing for the players set that stage like
They don't have
booting
that
up
kind of money
Warcraft
though.
or
Well,
StarCraft.
they have the
It
money,
created
but they don't
some
want to do the risk, and it
iconic
would be mostly
badass
CGI, and
scenes.
people would be pissed off.
As mortal armies rush blindly towards their doom, the burning shadow comes to consume us all.
Many people, my brother and I included, stared at their glowing monitors in wonder, imagining something beyond the 3 or 4 minute limited runtime of these cutscenes, something grand and fantastic. Well, way back in 2006, it was announced that
Where's the
something
fires?
was in the works. An official post on the Blizzard site indicated that a live-action Warcraft movie was to be produced in partnership with Legendary Pictures. I mean, oh boy, the hype had instantly begun, and many of us dweeb-ass kids in middle school had
Where's the
just
training
enjoyed
area?
a satisfying end to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, as well as Star Wars kind of concluding, and we were all kind of looking for the next big thing. And with Warcraft's cultural dominance growing by the day, it seemed like one of the prospects potentially destined to fill those shoes. But sadly, details on this project were scarce, and what followed was silence. Years of silence. And as time wore on, it almost appeared as if the movie had been permanently shelved. But internally, the creatives at Blizzard couldn't come
Head
to
west
agree
past the
on one
graveyard.
simple thing. What story to tell? The Warcraft games had spanned so many years in universe when you think about it at that point. All of these wars,
Okay.
awesome characters, heroes, villains rising and falling, tons
I'll
of
just keep
conflict
going
that
then.
would be pretty easy to adapt to a film. I mean, they already had the blueprint, the dialogue, and the fans' trust regarding so many unique
I'm gonna
stories.
hold my
But
opinion.
what to pick? I mean, which one would perform the best commercially? Who is our true target audience? Which character would resonate with fans and cause excitement? Which coworker should I sexually assault next? These were the tough questions.
That was a
facing
low
Blizzard.
blow.
And as the company crafted and scrapped
I'm really-
various ideas, at last,
I'm really tired of hearing about that. I really am. Like, you know, honestly, the only reason that that has stuck so much. This video was made 3 years ago, so it's really not an issue anymore. Only reason that that's stuck so much is because they've kind of made nothing but shit for like the last, so many years. I mean, Legion was good. That's about it. But imagine if those accusations happened during Wrath, like the peak of WoW. Back when Blizzard could do no wrong other than sloppy launches. I don't think people would have talked about it. Like, well, we kind of love them, so we're not going to bring it up.
they came to a somewhat obvious conclusion. To just begin at the beginning of the whole conflict that fans had been entrenched in for years. The orc invasion of Azeroth, baby. It's also believed that their initial intention was to start the ball rolling on an entire
I still don't see
Warcraft
this training
cinematic
area.
universe. So yeah, the beginning. That's a good starting point, I would say. Meanwhile, World of Warcraft was in full-ass swing, and the game was quite literally taking over the world through the late 2000s and into the following decade. Never really know what to call that one. The 10s? But popularity and fan opinion of the franchise was rather high. The time was right to begin production, the fruit ripe for the picking, but some on the inside still worried that the film could confuse current fans. The story would end up taking place in the past around the events of the first ever game, Orcs vs. Humans, released back in 1994. You gotta remember, that's an old-ass game, and it's pretty light on the hard-hitting story elements of the later titles. So Blizzard was gonna have to take the scraps of that era of Azeroth and piece things together to knit a new story that makes some sense. But they carried on regardless and drafted up a script. It was an epic thing, even early on. You know, attempting to bring the unique Blizzard storytelling techniques to the big screen. Orcs, humans, all these legendary characters that shaped the world players had been enjoying for so long. No pressure, right? Well, eventually, they made a big move and found their director in Duncan Jones. Well known at the time for his indie success, Moon. Side note, that is an awesome movie that I highly recommend. And did you know that Duncan Jones is David Bowie's son? I bet you didn't. When he came on board, the script was rewritten, retooled a few times, and at last, 8 years later in 2014, principal photography finally began. So you might be thinking, damn, this movie took some time to get off the ground. But that honestly isn't unheard of in this industry. I mean, these are huge projects. Hundreds of millions of dollars being essentially gambled on the movie performing up to expectations, or at the very least, just breaking even. You also want to take your time to fill out the roster behind the scenes, as well as big roles with actors that are ready for such a task. And with Travis Fimmel, famous for the Viking show to star as Lothar, and then people like Clancy Brown, aka Mr. Krabs, Paula Patton, and Daniel Wu involved, the stage was set. If they delivered is another story altogether. Now, a big thing to note really quick is the film being live action. This caused some concern even as far back as 2006. The CGI used in all those iconic cutscenes for years was fantastic, always well above industry standard for video games, and it seems like many people preferred Blizzard.
And the CGI in the movie was phenomenal. Okay, it was up to par with the cinematics,
Kind of stick to what has worked for them in the past. I mean, think about
if
it.
not
It might
better.
look kind of goofy, bringing some of these designs and cartoony graphics into the actual real world. I mean, can you imagine one of these poor actors having to wield Armageddon? This shit could just so easily look stupid and simultaneously tear your rotator cuff. Well, in 2015, the first sneak peeks were being sneaked and peeked, and it showed the truth of this representation of Azeroth. The story and the visuals would be split, divided down the middle, with the depiction of the orcs being pure CGI and the humans having real actors in costumes on sets. And people across the board were ready to just give this movie a chance. And finally, in 2016, the movie released and millions of couch potatoes stood for the first time in years all over the world to go see Warcraft. So before we get to the review,
I'm just
part
gonna
proper,
autocomplete
let's
this.
do a short synopsis of what is happening here. Though if you are watching this video, I assume
make
that
sure
you
I'm
have
doing
seen
the right
movie,
thing
maybe
first.
not. So, as I mentioned earlier, what we are seeing here is the orc invasion of Azeroth. Draenor, the orc homeworld, has been torn apart, and through the dark arts, the bad dude Gul'dan is leading his horde through a demonic portal to conquer a brand new world. The other main orc characters are Duratan, chieftain of the Frostwolf clan, his wife Raka, Orgrim Doomhammer, and war chief of the horde Blackhand. Then for the home team, we find the human characters in the film. Lothar, Knight Champion of
training.
Stormwind, a very young Khadgar, the rogue mage who has fled the Kirin Tor, Medivh, protector and guardian of the realm, then King Lane and all the Stormwind royals. But between the two races stands Garona Half-Orcan, a half-human, half-orc hybrid who serves as an important narrative hinge. So wow, you can already tell that they stuff a shit ton of characters into these 2 hours. And that is one of my main critiques, but more on that later. The movie itself is essentially a territorial struggle. Gul'dan is attempting to enslave humans to harvest their souls and open an even larger demonic portal for the rest of the orcs to come through, while the humans are trying to regroup with Medivh and
These
figure
all
out a
take
way to
place in
stop the
Silverman.
invaders while also uncovering the puzzle of how they got here. Eventually, we learn that Medivh is the imposter, Gul'dan is indeed an asshole, Durotan is cool, humans are only aged 35 or younger in Stormwind, and the Fel is very, very bad. Epic battles, betrayal, fan service, the changing of some established lore, and pretty amazing special effects are all included. And after all is said and done, blood has been spilled, and the path to the future of the Warcraft cinematic universe is paved with stones of uncertainty. Okay, well, I just want to say, outright, that this movie is surprisingly enjoyable to watch, even right now. As a longtime fan of Warcraft, but also a bit of a movie snob, even back in 2016, I highly expected this to be a pretty shitty movie. Call me pessimistic, but I just had not that much faith that this would be anything beyond a big Marvel-like thing to bring Warcraft to a wider audience and kind of dilute it down to just being kind of boring and cheap. But for the most part, I was completely wrong, though it does require a bit of suspension of disbelief to truly just relax and enjoy the ride for kind of what it is. I also think setting the whole thing back in time was a really good move. Removing the current happenings of Azeroth that are ever changing from the equation allowed fans and newcomers alike to just kind of experience this story. It's a totally safe point of entry for everyone, and that includes Blizzard. The large set pieces are easily digestible, the characters are mostly distinct from one another, and the feeling of Warcraft is captured pretty damn well. Humor, action, drama, they got it all in here, packed into a nice 123 minutes. The climax of the movie feels like it has some real stakes, and the negatives of the experience, for me anyway, overall do not outweigh the positives. I want to make that clear. So the first thing that immediately stands out, as I alluded to, is the production quality. I mean, dude, it is through the roof. This movie's almost 6 years old now and still has some of the best special effects for magic that I have ever seen. Then the CGI work for Stormwind and Ironforge with all these dark stone interiors contrasting with the kind of lush, rotting landscape of the orc camps. Every detail is just bustling with effort and intention. And sure, it doesn't look realistic at all. But this is adapting a cartoony fantasy game, dude. And if you are deciding to translate that to the real world, I think, for the most part, they nailed it while keeping the art style intact. Big fat swords and all. It has a cohesive look that's totally loyal to that source material. I mean, it would have been pretty hard to convince us fans that this is Warcraft if they had scaled everything down and made it look kind of like Game of Thrones, right? That's all just to say that anytime the movie is leaning on visual spectacle, it pretty consistently succeeds, and those roots in the old cinematics are really felt deeply, especially when it comes to the orcs. Oh, baby boy, I love the orcs, man.
God damn, Jimmy, that's some serious gourmet shit.
Without a doubt, the best part of the entire movie. They look utterly fantastic, and the actors portraying them do such good little work to bring the characters to life.
Such good little work.
They easily busted this shit up so bad and attempted to make them more appealing to like newcoming fans. You know, make the orc women like sexy and the orc guys lean bodybuilder bros that just happen to be green and have tusks. But no, they kept it completely real. These look like the orcs of Warcraft walked out of my computer and into real life. I mean, the animation quality and facial muscles, movement of the eyes, body language, it's just so good. I'm shocked. One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is where Durotan and Orgrim are just sitting, talking about old times and how Gul'dan kind of sucks. They mess with each other like brothers and laugh like childhood friends. There's a physical and tonal ease that the average moviegoer might not be expecting from the, quote, orc invaders. That humor and heart is just captured so well, much better than most of the moments on the human side of the conflict, if I'm being completely honest. Then there's another little moment where Durotan's kind of holding Khadgar hostage for a second, talking to Garona, and then when he lets Khadgar go, he just kind of bops him on the chest. Obviously, they can't really communicate in any other way, and it's a really small, effective gesture. Dude, I love the orcs, man. I could go on. And I definitely would say that they upstaged the humans almost totally. I found myself constantly wishing the entire thing was just this, and then kind of sighing a little bit.
And it should have been.
In my chair when I was met with
It should not have been humans. It should have been orcs and
real world actors, you know, acting their asses off. But that isn't to say that the characterization of the human characters is wholly bad, which has been a common complaint since this movie released. For the most part, the performances are serviceable. Ben Foster as Medivh has good moments and bad moments. Travis Fimmel has a good grip on the edgy but valorous knight, but the standout over here for me is Ben Schnetzer as Khadgar. He's really awkward and kind of overly ambitious, but totally means well and ultimately saves everyone with his wit and kind of unwavering drive. He captures that young scholar archetype really well, and it's interesting and enjoyable to watch. I think any failings that the human side has here is due to writing and small casting things, not necessarily acting. But we will cover that later. Also, a very small presence for sure, but the dwarves? Whew, they also look incredible. I'm a big dwarf guy, and seeing a few of them in Ironforge at the opening scene is like, yeah, this is Warcraft, baby. We're in good hands. Across the board, even with a few faults, visualization of Azeroth and bringing these characters to life is a big W for this movie. It's all simple but effective and just totally loyal to that source material again, while evolving enough for this medium. But surprisingly, another big win is the action sequences. So many movies, man, just have terrible action with thousands of jump cuts to the point of it being, for me, unwatchable. I'm looking at you, superhero movies, and I'm not even a boomer, dude. I'm 27. But I often just have no clue what's going on anymore, and I'm bored. It's not done well. I don't care. But Warcraft preaches clarity first and foremost. It helps a lot that the action sequences often feature that really cool magic I noted earlier, or slow-moving armored humans warring with large lumbering orcs. There's a deliberate and visceral nature to it where some of these moments you feel the impact like, damn, that dude is dead as hell. It's weighty and really satisfying to watch. And I think when you're talking about adapting a video game, this is definitely important. Games are built to give your brain that dopamine hit, you know? You really know what I'm talking about if you ever played a Destruction Warlock and Mists of Pandaria. And instead of copying other blockbuster movies in their style, they just leaned into the simple video game style, which I think serves this movie overall very well. So a big thing that I've talked about to this point is that this movie is widely regarded as a fan pleaser. And I think a huge aspect to that reputation is how loyally it sticks to that divided perspective storytelling. One might argue, to a fault even. Apparently, director Duncan Jones pushed really hard for some rewrites to keep that kind of unique structure intact. And I think it's really cool that they just kind of went for it in that way. Ends to various references and Easter eggs as well. Things that'll just float by for the average viewer, but are there to tickle or make Warcraft fans smile and kind of nudge their friends and be like, oh, dude, did you see that? Some of the standouts for me are like seeing a little Murloc on the side of the road. Them capturing the feeling of being on a flight path. You get to meet Morose, who's a raid boss later in WoW. You get to see little kid Varian Wrynn, baby Thrall. A guard gets polymorphed, and they even talk about the spell duration. And you even get to see the moment that Deadwind Pass becomes, well, dead. All of the stuff taking place around Karazhan is a lot of fun, and it's no mistake that they gave us so much of that in the movie, because that's got to be what? The most popular WoW raid ever, if not amongst the top 3? All of these things to hunt for just make for a fun, lighthearted experience. Another key aspect of the games thematically is that while there are always these epic stories being told with a serious tone, humor is always just around the corner. Blizzard has always seemed to constantly want to be reminding you, like, this is a video game, man. You're supposed to be having fun. And that energy is carried over pretty nicely in small moments in the movie. Like when Khadgar is holding Medivh's staff and accidentally bonks this shield.
The dead shall serve.
Or later on when he's investigating the Fel and goes to the Kirin Tor. This ancient cube opens up and Khadgar is like,
do I go in?
I don't know. It's never done that before.
it's just lighthearted in that same way, and it wants to remind you every once in a while that this is all kind of just for fun. It keeps it light and very, very Warcrafty. So just a few more things to mention before I get critical up in this bitch. How about Gul'dan? Oh, baby! You know I love the orcs, we've established that, but his screen time is not high enough. Daniel Wu's performance and his nasty scarred appearance, this is good shit. And if you are a fan of my channel, you already know how much I love my villains. God damn, is Gul'dan's villainy on full display. He is a despicable rat of an orc, sucking the souls from slaves like it's Gatorade, spitting on the traditions of his race.
Where's the
Ruthless. Just ruthless. Nearing the climax of the film, Duratan challenges Gul'dan to Mak Garah, the ritual orc combat. This is an ancient tradition that has everything to do with honor and blood. May the best orc win, and may that orc lead their people. This has got to be the best moment in the entire movie. Gul'dan accepts, and his old hunched over orc ass stands to his full height. He's surprisingly jacked. He's got all these bones coming out of his back and stuff. It's terrifying and so cool. So then the fight starts, and Gul'dan feels himself losing to Duratan, so he just straight up cheats. Uses his warlock skills to suck my boy's life essence and throws his husk of a body aside. Just cold as hell. It's so well done. I love it. And one last thing about the orcs that I really liked is how the movie handles the language barrier. It's not easy to depict these two sides of the war with heart and care while keeping intact the alien qualities of each side's opposition. Garona, of course, acts as a convenient translator when the movie needs one, but there is this one little awesome moment where Duratan is meeting with King Lane in secret. We hear his orc guttural grunts and stuff from the king's perspective, but as the camera pans closer to Duratan and Lane leaves the shot, it seamlessly swaps to English for us viewers to understand.
To save my people.
And I admit this is a small thing, but it really stuck in my head, even years after seeing the movie. It slows all this kind of cluttered narrative stuff down, and you just get to see that these are just two leaders wanting what's best for their people.
Ad? Yep. I was trying to get me to play retail. I'm not having it. Even if I could afford it. Even if I was unemployed and could afford it, which is
sadly we have
seems kind of redundant
now. And there are a healthy
contradicting
amount of things here that to me just flat out stink, or could have been done. The sabotaged meeting between the orcs and humans falling completely flat. I mean, I just don't care. There are far too many narratives that all of those issues can simplify.
Okay, we all know the bad. All right. Here's my overall opinion of that movie. As a movie, as any old movie, it was fantastic. As a Warcraft movie, it was average. There was a lot good about it, but there was a lot bad about it. And I think the stuff that was bad about it kind of outweighs the good. But really, honestly, it should have been they should have done two different things. All right. One, they should have started from the very, very, very beginning of the book. I'm not talking about the Titans, but like start with orcs and Draenei. Start with that. Like there's a book. We're killed Jaden's corrupting the orcs and yada yada yada. They should have started there. And then they could have just had movie after movie after movie after movie. It could have been a long ass movie series. And it would have made so much money. So much. Like, I love Warcraft lore. I really do. It's great. It's probably probably the best video game lore. It really is. I can't think of anything else, you know. How's my frame rate or gameplay looking here? Decent. I'll watch it later and realize what a fuck up I am.
What now? Trust no one.
But yeah, they should have started at the very beginning of the lore. They should not have changed anything. It should have all just been a live action. It should have all just been a cinematic retelling of that story. And that's all it should. And if they had Draenei that looked just as good as the orcs, granted, there'd probably be no humans in this movie. and it would be pretty much entirely CGI. It probably would. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I'm one of those people that does not like all CGI movies, but I would probably make an exception there, so I understand the limitations, especially since there was actually live action or live actors. Portraying these characters. It wasn't completely CGI. It was like motion tracked or motion captured CGI, which is actually honestly really good. That's the best way to do CGI. If you're gonna have somebody be an orc, have an actual person be the orc and just capture the motion so you can have a realistic flow to your animation. You know what I mean? But it should just been orcs and Draenei. Should just told that whole story. That's all it should have did. And if they would have did it that way, we probably would be on like the 4th movie. Probably be in theaters right now. And it would be fantastic. Now, a lot of it has to do with directing and casting. And that's where you could really fuck up a movie. No matter how much you stick to the main source material, you can fucking destroy a movie. And it's funny because, like, the directing and the casting in this movie was good. It was great. Fantastic, actually. Much better than anyone could expect it. Usually video game movies, the casting and directing is awful, right? It's just all fan service, but this guy did a great job. It was the opposite problem. Instead of sticking to the source material with bad directing, it kind of just did its own thing with good directing, which is why I said if you don't look at it as a Warcraft movie and you look at it as like a regular ass movie, it's honestly really good. But you know, that's just my opinion. Opinions are like dads, and not everybody has one. Or wait, that's not right. So I kind of wonder how stat scaling works with minions and WAD, because it does not tell me, like, it doesn't tell me that my pet gets like so much of a percentage of my shit until I get like the armor or whatever. You know? I'm just out here farming weed, bro. Some weed over there. Better nuke this dude down. Even though my shadow bolts don't really do any damage. All dependent on my passive procs. And you regen health so fast. Game. Oh. Deleted. Undead passive is just ridiculous. So everything, like, I keep hearing about how everything was just overpowered in Mop and Wad, and like those people were not lying. Let's get them. Never did get that bleach. Hi. Come here. How are you? Daddy. How are you, sweet pea? Daddy's got like, oh. So you want us Warlords? Keep in mind that you don't have trainer. Any spells upgrade automatically.
Breathe underwater and death.
Well, you could do that. But this scale, like as I level up, it will
You get
go
more
up.
healing
It
for
will
damage.
go up. Yeah. So like if I put a corruption, a dot, on a mob, every tick proc. So like a tick that normally does 9, does 60. And it deletes. So apparently Mop and Wad were really
Not quad.
Mop and Wad. Apparently they were very notorious for everybody just being overpowered. Take it. Hey Volker, how's it going?
Oh my love. Oh, you're
I'm so special.
Why?
I have ears. Isn't it? Something fire on that. Oh, fuck it up. Oh. Flip it, swing. Flip its wings and watch it squirm. I'm sorry. Just channeling some darkness. I am a warlock. Quit messing up my cord. You're about to go out there. You want to go out there so bad. Well, that's good, man. Happy for you. I just got off work about, holy shit, it's 10 o'clock, about 3 hours ago. And I don't work until 10 tomorrow, so I can stay up a little bit later. I would like to get my 10 and, or actually, no, I'd like to get my 13. Or 14, actually. Do I have summon? Oh, I have summon 13, but not 14, right? I don't remember. I have so many characters and so many different versions now, I can't even keep track of them. Also, how's my stream quality? Because I keep changing things around. Is it better than last time or about the same? I need to sell this shit. Pretty good. Yeah, well, it is 720p, so. I tried doing 1080 with software encoding. It wasn't having it. Was not having it. I still need to try to find my Elgato to see if I can just run my PC through my Elgato and then back in with a USB. To see if maybe I can get better quality with that. About the ding. You gotta put GZ in the chat, Volker. You gotta put GZ. You ready? Ready? Here we go.
Beware the living.
Ooh, I can make a Hearthstone. Or Healthstone. How many of these can I make? I can just make any old amount, huh? Or no. I can't. Whatever. I said GZ, as in congrats. But cheesy works too.
What is it? Our time will
So I'm level 9.
speak quickly. Victory for some.
I still need to go, like, I need to go back to Burl. Well, no, that's just one intellect. I don't know what one intellect's gonna do for me. Thank you. Thank you, Volker, for your congratulations. I appreciate it. Spank you very much. I will need... Man, these undead, dude, they're just all about, like, poisoning people. I bet Jim Jones or whatever his name is, he got reborn as an no, I bet he rolled an undead. Or no, that happened before WoW came out. But I bet if he was alive, he'd roll an undead. He'd start his own in-game church where everybody just like use dark runes until they kill themselves. You will find the creatures, yeah, whatever. Give me the good items. That's all I care about. Oh, now you're giving me the finger? Just kidding. Damn. 120? Is that like a proc and a crit? Is that what just happened? Liking the drop rate so far. Perfectly acceptable. Oh, this is gonna pull more than one. I'm gonna have to help him. Damn! Oh, this is gonna be bad. I mean, I'll just summon another one, so it's fine. Are you gonna attack him? What the hell's going on here? Spam running. Trying to get that sweet, sweet loot. It's actually kind of cool that you can just like get a bunch of bots that are the same race, or you can make your own characters actually and have the bots play them. And you can just have like an undead army.
My, you're a tall one. Off and away.
Actually, yes. I would love to sell you all my shit. Well, most of my shit. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that.
Alrighty then.
Almost have a goal already.
Pleased to meet you.
And now I'm gonna sell you this one.
Alrighty then.
Oh, it's a herb bag.
You have a great day now.
Why is there a gnome over here hanging out with us? Oh, is it like an undead gnome? Or a leper? The leper. Bodies in these graves are so far spread out dead, but scorched now since I know. Gather, your task twofold. Slater out hides, mass grave. Gather everything for. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Easy. Absolutely easy. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to like 13 here. I'm pretty sure that's my highest level right now. Oh no, it's actually 15. But yeah, I'll just go all the way to 15. Fuck it. Why not? And then I'll switch back to Mop, play my Panda Rogue. Am I not getting credit for these? Oh, it's because I don't even need these ones. That's why. Oh, you reduced my intelligence. I can no longer do long division. I have to wait for the debuff to go away. Two plus 5 equals 7. Or wait, that's actually correct. I meant to say 2 plus 3 equals 7. Or did I say 2 plus 5? I don't remember. I'm tired, boss. Blammo. Okay, I don't need any more of you guys. I actually need to go over the gray robbers here. Quit interrupting my shit, dude. Yeah, I need to go all the way back here to the graveyard. I just can't wait to start doing dungeons, honestly. So I think for dungeon gear, I'm gonna do ×2. Maybe. But for raid gear, I'm probably going to do like a scaling multiplier on all items. Depending on the item. I don't know. I might just do scaling multiplier for dungeons since I'm solo, so like I kind of have to do something. There are some gray robbers. I need 8 of these dudes. I'll be right back. What the F happened here? Unacceptable. Why is this all in Russian? Hey, you know what? It's like the only repack I could find, so I'm not gonna complain. This is one of those ones that has like a VIP plan, so. Problem is, there's no WAD private servers like anywhere. Seems like there'd be a chest over here somewhere. We're digging up this grave. I want to see what's going on over here. Could be a chest. No, just a bunch of bodies. No chest. Whatever. Damn. He didn't last very long. Ah, damn it. Dude still got one more class over, or one more quest over here.
Be seeing you.
Oh.
Alrighty then.
I have to go kill a specific goal now. Hopefully he drops something good. Yep, there he is. Oh, he came out. Gotta put dots on everybody. Focus fire this dude. There's no casting pushback anymore. cast this shit on my fucking Void Walker. That's funny. What you have in this house, mister? What are you hiding? Oh, I knew there'd be something in here. I can use swords? I'm pretty sure my strength transfers over to my Void Walker, so why not?
My, you're a tall one. You have a great day now.
Wow, Finn spawning ground that far. Chase tadpoles till they pass out from fear. Whatever, dude.
Need assistance?
Have that, and that.
Be seeing you.
Can't wait to get my level 10, dude. Pretty hyped right now. You know, let's just fuck this dude up. Well, I have to chase them. I'm chasing. I'm not sure how well this... Okay. So this quest is actually working. That's good news. Ooh, careful. Careful, mister. We'll be going into some deep water. Oh, shit. No, I'm just gonna chase you around. Ass fucker. Got him. You know, I actually don't even watch Family Guy, but I enjoy Family Guy shorts. And I gotta do fucking 12 of these guys? Goodness gracious. Where'd the other one go? Whatever, I'll just do this one. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Don't hurt him. Oh, apparently you can just kill him. Is this true? Is this true? Yeah, you can just kill him. Whatever. I guess you call that scaring them to death. Noted. Is that a pair of cloak? And there's like 20 cloaks that have 2 armor. What is it with this game? Bull. Ah, damn it. My Void Walker died. So what's the next spell that I get? Fear. What do you fucking do? So how long does that one last? 20 seconds? Damaging it may cancel fear. Limit one target. May cancel fear. That is, it's pretty much redundant until I get to this one. And even then, it's redundant till I get to this one. Oh. Oh, Blood Pack is now a passive spell that you can get rather than just something that comes with the imp. I'm going the wrong way. Oops. My Void Walker keeps dying too. Void Walkers in water is squishy as shit. Like, mine only has 144 health. Or wait, is he half my HP? Hold on, I gotta see something. I don't have anything that gives me stamina, though. We'll see. You know, it's funny, when you play new versions of WoD, like different versions of WoD, when you play different versions of WoW, it's almost like you're playing a different game each time. Because there's like changes and shit.
Hi, how are you?
And the only problem with what I'm going to do involving gear is I'm going to be OP as shit when I'm questing. Like, I'm just going to be one-shotting stuff. Probably, but I don't care. It's all about the rating, bro. I can... What I'm probably going to do is my first character, every server, it's going to be concentrated around... What? Now what are you freaking out about? What? Show me. Get out here. Come here. Show me. Come here. Come here. What? What? Hmm? Freak out.
You have a great day now. Alrighty then. Can I help you?
Yeah, you can buy my rabbit foot.
a great day now.
Oh, now you have another quest for me? Head for the mills.
Beware the living.
Whatever, dude. I accept your challenge or whatever. Is he really all the way over here? Fuck it. Everybody gets a dot. This is where fear would come in handy, though. That chest respawn? Oh, it fucking did, dude. Yes. I will gladly take it. Like, whenever I hear the ghost music, I always think it's a bug.
What is it?
But I never know when you're, like, in the undead starting zone if it's, like, a bug or not.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Okay. I'm dinging. Right here, right now. Are ghosts still immune to physical attacks? I know this one's classified as undead, so maybe not. That was always the biggest troll in like the first few versions of the game, is ghosts. Like, oh, I can't hit you. Oh. You know, honestly, I think I get more damage out of my imp. And he generates just as much threat over time. Like, look at him. Look at him. Never in my life thought I would sub a Voidwalker out for an imp. Here we go, one more. Fuck yeah. So I got achievements now. All sorts of gobbledygook. Alright. Here's WAD talents. Oh, agony, that's what I was thinking of. I don't learn that until level 36. A bunch of shit. Well, I already decided on affliction, so wow, it's like you can't switch, you know. You can't switch in WAD. It's crazy playing all these different versions of the game. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and go. What's this? Someone Void Walker? I really don't need you there. I have like a buff. New passive mastery potent affliction. Three up. Okay, and this shows all the shit that I'm eventually gonna learn too. I have like a buff. Like, what is that? Or wait. It was just explaining what I have right now. How the fuck do I get that back up? Whatever. Oh, apparently this has a cast time. It's a lot of damage, bro. I'm gonna whip my Void Walker back out.
What do you want from me?
And this is all shadow damage too, so it can just proc my passive willy-nilly.
I need to get closer.
What the fuck is this buff on me? Whatever, dude. Wonder if my passive procs through Torment. You just one-shotted my Void Walker. It's fucking rude. Apparently casters in WAD are OP.
Like this place.
I need a target.
I almost feel like Affliction Warlock as undead is lore appropriate. I really do. Maybe I should start playing classes and races that are lore appropriate. Like Dwarven Hunters, maybe.
I am forsaken.
Orcs would obviously either be warriors or shamans.
Trust no one.
The mill's overrun.
Goodbye.
Oops, wrong button. There's gotta be a spell here I'm missing somewhere that involves purple shit over my head. Whatever. Oh shit. I might get whacked here. No. Wrong button again. I should have used it, man. I should have used it. I still can't figure out what this new passive is. Wait, it tells me increases damage. It's the first time you've ever told me to wrap it. It's true, it's true. Man, I can't wait to start doing dungeons. I'm really excited, especially with the way I'm gonna be doing things. When I'm with bots, it won't matter so much. But when I'm single player, or like Kata through BFA, it's gonna be a good time.
What do you want from me?
Motherfucker. Yeah, deal with that shit. Those things hurt. Anyway, I'm probably gonna end the stream. What time is it? I might get back on here in a little bit, play a little bit longer. Let me get back to my body first. It's always casters, man, that just shit on me every single time. Whether it's the Vice pillagers or fucking whatever these dudes are. So you don't even get talent points anymore. It's just like another thing, you know? Oh wow, health funnel is actually an affliction thing. It's crazy. Life tap is not as good as it was in Wrath, apparently. I can tell you that much right now. Alright, well, I'm gonna hang out here. And I should be back on here. I'm just gonna go eat dinner.